So 86% of South Africans want to get back to work. That's according to a nationwide survey conducted by a workplace consultancy firm, Giant Leap. Now, in that survey, respondents reported feelings of isolation and difficulties in carrying out team tasks, and many said they missed their co-workers. To tell us more about the survey, we're joined now by the director of Giant Leap, Linda Trim. Linda, good morning. Thanks very much for your time. I think it's actually not that surprising that the vast majority of people who have been at work now, at home now for almost 70 days, that they do just want to get back into the real world.
I think you're very right. People have had enough of being at home, and particularly if you've got a great office, people can't wait to get back and experience the comfort of the office.
Yeah, and I think more and more South Africans perhaps just appreciating life before lockdown.
Most definitely. I think the romanticism of staying at home is starting to fade quite quickly. People want to get what they know.
Yeah. Linda, take us through, perhaps just first of all, the number of people that the survey spoke to and the socio-economic background of those involved in the survey.
So we did a couple hundred in South Africa. It was completely nationwide and across the board. So whoever wanted to partake in it could partake in it. And internationally, a very similar survey was done with about 70,000 people. And funnily enough, they both achieved the same result, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. But what did people specifically have to say about, life as we know it having changed so completely? Their workplaces now, as they remember it, would have changed as well during the pandemic. What did they say about going back to work in a completely different world?
I think what everyone wants is safety, and what people miss the most is communication and co-workers, which you're still going to have when you go back to the office in a safe and comfortable way. People also miss the movement. Working from home, you're limited in moving from space to space, and you're sitting in front of a computer with Zoom fatigue most of the day. And you don't get that in the office, even if you're working in rotations or shifts. It's completely different. What we find people actually miss the most, separate to the interaction, is their chair. Everyone wants a good, comfortable chair.
Yeah, they're not quite used to sitting on the couch doing those Zoom calls anymore. I suppose what's also interesting is to take a look at the 14% who haven't said that they look forward to going back to work. What were the reasons there?
I think many are very fear-based at the moment to leave the home. A lot of people have a long commute, so they love not having to sit in traffic. And some people really appreciate the isolation.
Yeah. Linda, take us through, how workplaces, I suppose, are now expected to change. As much as people do want to go back to work, they do want to have that interaction with their colleagues again. A reality now for companies, not only in South Africa, around the world, is that working from home must now become a part of our lives, a part of the business model, in fact.
Yeah, in terms of the office, it's really important to have proper screening between people and spacing out between people. So this cramming in of people into tiny little open plan will change. We need to allow people more space. People shouldn't be facing one another. But I think it's also taught us that we need to be prepared. Should this ever happen again, and we could end up in lockdown 5 again, people need a proper setup at home to be able to quickly come back and work. Or if you choose to, why can't you work 1 day a week or work at home instead of sitting in the morning traffic? People are learning what's most productive for them. It's no longer 8 to 5 at the office.
Yeah, and I think perhaps also an important thing for companies now to consider would be to invest in getting their employees who are working, as you say, 1 or 2 days of the week at home, getting them a proper internet connection. That will now also become part of your package, I suppose, if you're joining a company.
Yes, and what we find in many companies are also looking out to buy their staff a chair for home, because a chair and your internet connection are the two most important things that you require. So some corporates are putting packages together for their people with an amount of money, and they can go and choose the chair that they want and the package that they need. So they're completely set up at home.
Yeah, what an interesting time we're living in, a whole new world of work. Thanks very much for weighing in on this discussion. Linda Trim is the director of Giant Leap. It conducted this workplace survey, 86% of South Africans saying that they are really keen to get back to work. Certainly very interesting there.